Hi everyone, welcome to my Q&A, random Q&A on a Monday night. There are a lot of things going on this week for me, and I really just wanted to share a little bit about what is happening and share some wisdom that I have gleaned this last week. So for everyone who doesn't know me or who's new to the group, I'm Nicole, and I'm the creator of this group, Know Your Flow. With Nicole, obviously. Anyway, I feel like this is a special Q&A because, as you may know, I'm enrolling women in my Fix Your Period Live group program right now. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from the women in my community over the last week during this enrollment process. And I really wanted to share some good lessons that I've learned. And I feel like they could be really helpful for all of you who have joined the group to really get insight and understanding of what's going on with your hormones and your period and all the things. So before I get into all of that though, just so you know, enrollment is closing tomorrow night at midnight for anyone who is interested in working with me. This is the last live program I'm offering for the year. It's actually half price from the program I'm going to offer in the spring, the next time I run this program. And so if you want to get really specific help from me, this is your opportunity to do that. It's a very small group of women that will be working with me, and they're on a mission to fix their periods and hormones with my guidance. So if you want to check that out, it's in the description for this Facebook Live here. And if you do, that's awesome. I will be really, really excited to meet you and work with you. I actually got an email from a girl who signed up a couple of days ago, and she said, and this is part of the things that I learned this week, I'm absolutely enjoying the program so far. Going through the introductory material, I've already had things clarified. I really wish I knew these things 20 years ago. Shaking my head. I'm very glad to have found your site, Nicole, because it's never too late. And that brings me into what I want to talk about, because I get the sense that a lot of us don't believe that we can actually get better. I also get the sense that you don't think you deserve to have vibrant, amazing health. And when you think about your body, do you think it's broken or has betrayed you? It's hard to think about how you can get better again. And so I hear that as well. And then also too, a lot of, I'm so lost and confused and defeated, Nicole. Like, how do I even make changes? Where do I even begin? And finally, maybe you feel like you've tried everything and you don't know what the next step is. So a lot of these things have come up for this week. And in fact, during this week, and in fact, I have gotten a couple of emails from women that really highlighted this for me, because I think it's been such a long time since I've been in the place that some of you are in, that maybe I just forgot. Maybe I didn't realize that so many of you are struggling so badly, and I really feel your pain. But some of the emails I got, like one of them said, I have endometriosis, Nicole. If fixing my period was this simple, I wouldn't be on opioids. And the second email I got, or another email I got that I felt I should share, was said that I've spent 20 plus years of struggling with fatigue, mood swings, irritability, no libido, body aches, bloating, and no interest in doing things. I miscarried 9 years ago. I tried since, and I've never gotten pregnant again. Last year, I had surgery removing my right fallopian tube and ovary because of endometriosis. So tell me, how can you help me? Doctors won't help me. Again, I ask, how can you help me? These are really good questions. The third email I received that I wanted to share said, I have been battling with my menstrual cycle for the last 4 years, and I've seen my OBGYN more than I probably should have, I'm sure. I bet a lot of people can relate to that. I have taken birth control, progesterone, plus more. I have a thyroid issue also, and I continually get cysts on my ovaries. I've even seen a fertility doctor, tried to get rid of the cysts, tried medication to get pregnant, and nothing. I'm at a point now where I don't know where to turn. I hate taking medicine, and with copays, I feel stuck, but I feel so horrible I could cry every day. My periods are extremely heavy, painful, irregular, and make me feel stressed on top of other stress. I'm not sure what else to do. Any other specific advice you could give me? Thank you. Ladies, so here's the first bit of information that I want to share. Achieving your best health is going to start with you prioritizing your health. This is not a blame game by any means. I recognize that life is crazy. It's a roller coaster for a lot of us right now. It's really difficult to manage our stress and make sure we're eating well amongst all the other things that we've got going on, whether it's the job or our children or our significant others or maybe family. There's a lot of different things that are pulling us in many directions, but we have to prioritize our health. Understanding that no one is going to take care of you better than you is the most important realization that I ever going to have in your life. You are literally your only responsibility. And so it's really your job to take good care of your body and your mind and your spirit and all the rest of it. I truly believe that when we're in the driver's seat, we're empowered to make change and take control of our bodies and our healing. And we don't need to have someone come and save us. Like the first lady who said that she's on opioids. I was really curious what all she has tried to address her endometriosis, because there is tons of research now out there showing us what we can do to start to improve endometriosis or to improve period problems or adrenal problems or thyroid problems. I mean, there is so much literature now. It's amazing. And if we're looking in the right place, we're going to find it. But if we continue down the path of hoping that someone else is going to have the answer for us, it's likely not going to work. So I really believe that it's scary. Obviously, I believe that, and it can be really overwhelming. But I believe that we have the tools to take care of ourselves, and it's really just a matter of finding those tools. And that's basically where I come in. So for everyone who is really struggling with the questions, like I just mentioned in the very beginning of this, do you actually believe you can get better? Do you? I want you to ask that question. When I was 24, I had just come off the birth control pill. I had spent like 5 years on it and about 10 years, since I was about 14, dealing with all kinds of problems. I mean, like, I was convinced I was the most broken person I knew. I didn't believe for a second that I could get better. And I'd spent 5 years hoping that some doctor was going to fix me. I saw everyone. I saw probably like 2 or 3 GI doctors. I saw a couple different gynecologists, hoping for a better, different answer from all of them, and I got the same thing. I saw, who else did I see? I saw a dermatologist because I had this melasma all over my face because I'd been on the birth control pill for so long and my hormones were a wreck. I saw my regular MD. I mean, I saw everybody, and I spent a lot of money and a lot of time just getting all these tests, having these procedures. And I can't tell you, like, every single time I hoped that I would find an answer, I didn't get it. I didn't get a single answer from anybody because nobody could really give that to me. Just remember, conventional medicine is set up to treat symptoms. And this is not a hit against conventional medicine because it's an incredible thing in and of itself. There's no doubt about that. And it saves lives every single day. And the technology that they've come up with, it's all amazing. I get all that. But it's not going to address your root cause, the root cause of your problems. So it's really up to you to decide, make a decision right now that you can get better, that you can feel better in your skin. Being a woman does not require a great deal of medical intervention to be healthy. It just doesn't. I know that you may believe that, and I've had lots of women say to me things like, well, my doctor told me that I have PCOS, and he told me that when I was 14, and he also told me that I would have trouble getting pregnant later in my life. So that doctor plants that seed and tells you that you will potentially have trouble getting pregnant later on in life. What's going to stick with you? You're going to remember that you're going to have trouble getting pregnant later on in life. So if you believe that, you potentially will have trouble getting pregnant. So it's so fundamentally that's the fundamental issue I have, right? Is that we are sort of given or handed this set of beliefs about our bodies from the time we're young. And again, it's not necessarily anyone's fault. It's just sort of how the system is set up. But I want you to start to shift that. I want you to actually make a decision right now that you can get better, that you can feel better, that you can actually feel frigging amazing in your skin, that all of the issues that you're dealing with don't actually have to be problems that you're dealing with. I recognize, as the woman who wrote me about endometriosis and opioids, that there are really serious conditions. but you have to take baby steps. You have to. If you don't, you will absolutely stay stuck in this current paradigm, and you don't want to do that. So the second question is, do you think you deserve to have vibrant health? So at the time when I was 24 and I just come off the pill, I definitely did not think I deserved to have vibrant health, because I was stuck in that mentality of, woe is me, I am going to be sick forever, I'm never going to get better, I'm never going to feel better, my body is totally broken, I am totally lost and confused. And you know what I needed? I needed a friend to have hope for me. And my friend, I had a friend in college who was seeing an acupuncturist. I'd done acupuncture once before, many years ago, for a back issue that I was having as a teenager. Go figure, I had all the problems. And she was just like, you really need to go and see this acupuncturist. And so what I always want to say to women is, you need a friend encouraging you, whether it's me or a family member or another friend. You need someone in your life who's telling you, who's holding space for you and hoping for you and telling you that you deserve to be healthy and to be happy and to feel really good in your body, like I said before. So this friend of mine was like, go see this acupuncturist. He'll hook you up. I'm like, okay, I got nothing to lose at this point, because I was like a hot mess. Anyway, I didn't get my period back yet. Like I said, I'm 24. I got this melasma all over my face, not looking very cute. And I had these chronic UTIs and yeast infections. My gut was an absolute disaster. Anything I ate, I bloated out. I felt like I was 5 months pregnant, if that's, at the time I thought that's what it looked like. I had all the problems. Anyway, so I went to see his acupuncturist with zero hope of feeling better. And within 15 to 20 minutes, he basically broken down to me what he thought was going on. So this was my first introduction to this idea that you don't need to treat the symptoms. You need to treat the root cause. You need to treat the source of the fire, right? Obviously, you're not going to go into a burning building and just like hope that this fire is not going to burn the building down and burn you down. You're going to put out the damn fire, right? You're not just going to do nothing about it. So that's really what I needed to do. And that's what he helped me do. So he basically was just like, you need to get off the birth control pill. Or yeah, I hadn't come off the birth control pill at the point when I saw him. He was like, you need to come off the birth control pill. He explained to me why I needed to do that. Then he was just like, and now you need to clean up your gut health because it's a disaster. Nobody had ever said that to me either. I'd even had a colonoscopy 6 months prior, and the doctors were like, your colon's perfect. Everything's perfect. You're fine. Meanwhile, like I said, I was chronically constipated. I wouldn't be able to go to the bathroom for like a week at a time sometimes. I had this horrible bloating. I had awful stomach pain. I had this terrible pain in my lower right side. It was just the worst. And, I just had these horrible IBS symptoms too. That was the other thing. So I really just felt like I was being gaslighted almost, because my reality was completely different to the reality of what the doctor was saying. So maybe that's something that you feel as well. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with this, but ultimately the idea here is that if you think your body is broken, if you don't think you deserve to have vibrant health, then it's going to be really challenging. So I want you to make a second decision that you do deserve this, because you do, and that moving forward, you're going to take the next right step, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. But again, treating the symptoms is not the next right step. So I want you to get grounded, get in silence, and just think about where you are right now with your health. And then from there, you will have a bit of an epiphany. Usually this comes to me. It comes to me when I get silent, when I meditate, when I just sit. And that will help you make your decision. That's what you need to do. You need to decide. Like the video I posted earlier in the group, he was talking about the fact that we're 2 months away from, 2 months away from the end of the year. And he was asking what you're doing right now. Are you assessing where you're at in your life, with your health, in your relationships, generally speaking, your entire life? And is it working? Is every area of your life working? And again, not every area is ever going to work all at the same time, but just think about that. Is every area working? And if it's not, what's not working? And whatever's not working, you need to look at that more closely and start to pivot and start to make that next right decision. That's kind of my 2 cents on that. how about your body being broken or your body has betrayed you? How do you get better again? So the first belief that I want everyone to adopt is that your body is actually not broken. Believe it or not, your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do right now. When there are deficiencies, whether that is a vitamin deficiency or a mineral deficiency or a deficiency of love and supportive relationships and friendships, or a deficiency in sunlight, I mean, the list goes on, right? Or you're dehydrated, your body is going to respond as it's supposed to do. If your body was broken, you wouldn't be responding to these things. So your body is basically telling you in its own language of symptoms, which you eventually have to tune into and figure out, because it's our job to do that, right? Because I said that. We're our own responsibility. So yes, your body is basically doing what it's supposed to do. And the idea here is to recognize that your body is working super hard for you every single day of your life, every minute, every hour, every day. And if you're feeling broken or you feel like your body just doesn't work and everybody else's works and everyone else doesn't have these problems, trust me, they do. We all have them. Everyone has a genetic weak link, whether it's your bones and you develop rheumatoid arthritis or joint pain, or it's your skin and you have acne, or it's your thyroid and you develop hypothyroid or hyperthyroid, or maybe it's your pancreas and you develop type 1 or type 2 diabetes. There are so many different aspects of our bodies and our health that can be impacted. Everyone has that, like I said, genetic weak link. And for me, it's my bones. My mom has rheumatoid arthritis. I am super prone to joint pain if I'm not really careful about what I eat and making sure that my body doesn't go into that state of inflammation. So sugar will totally trigger that for me, and huge amounts of stress will also do that. But that's for me. For somebody else, it might be their thyroid, and their thyroid might not work as well as somebody else's thyroid might work, because that other person's thyroid isn't their genetic weak link. So I just want you to think about this and keep in mind, right, that our bodies are, I mean, they're kind of a work of art if you think about it. They do a lot of really cool things. I mean, we ovulate most of the time, every single month usually for most of us. For some of us, it's not so often. We make babies. I mean, you guys, seriously, we do so much, and I think you have to take a step back and just remember the miracle of your body, because it really is that. And so also keep in mind too that we've been evolving over millions of years, literally, and our bodies, I don't know, not even 50 years ago, 50 to 100 years ago, were never subjected to the kind of chronic overstimulation that we're subjected to now. I mean, it's kind of insane when you think about it. We have never in the history of humanity had to deal with what we're dealing with now. It's an onslaught. We're chronically stressed from work and from life and money and our relationships and family. And then there's like the stress of what's happening on this planet. It's not exactly easy to look at the news every day or to even just see what is going on Facebook. That's stressful in and of itself. And then we have social media, which is a whole other stressor. I mean, I feel like I could do a whole Facebook Live on that. Anyway, the point is that we were never this stressed. We were never this chronically overburdened. And what has happened is our bodies are now responding in ways that are kind of unprecedented. We've never really seen this much illness before. We've never seen this much breakdown in how bodies are functioning. So again, it's up to us, right, to remember that your body just hasn't experienced this kind of stress and stimulation and turmoil ever, like just human bodies in general. 50, 100 years ago, we were pretty much stress-free. I mean, there was obviously a lot of things happening, but it's nothing like what's going on now. And as a result, our bodies were, most like 95% of the time, like not stressed. And then 5% of the time, there was this sort of onslaught. But now it's kind of the opposite. You've got 5% downtime, like that 1 hour of yoga you do every couple of days maybe. And then the rest, you're just like a freight train barreling towards whatever. And so I just think it's really, really critical for us to remember that and to remember to love ourselves, to go easy on ourselves, to be really forgiving of ourselves. If something's going on, if your body feels really broken, if you have endometriosis, if you have PCOS, if you can't get pregnant, if you're not ovulating, if you have PMS or PMDD and you're so angry for like 2 weeks before your period. I mean, there's all these different things that go on. We've all been there. So just practice a little bit of forgiveness for yourself, because again, your body is talking to you. It's telling you something is up. Okay, let's see. Jen, hi, so much stress. I know, it's ridiculous. All right, so the next question is, how do you even make changes when you feel lost or confused or defeated? So, I mean, I get this. I actually asked this question the other day in the group. How do you feel about your health, lost, confused, whatever? And I had some really good responses. A lot of them were memes, which cracked me up, because it's true. We really are so lost and confused because of the internet. It's a great thing, but it's also caused us to do a lot of self-diagnosing. Thanks, Dr. Google. And as a result, we're freaking out. I mean, which is understandable. I totally get it. And so I think that when we're talking about addressing the root cause of our symptoms, we really have to become self-aware. So like I said before, we have to start with self-awareness practices. So you have to start to tune in. You have to start to notice what your body's doing. For instance, I've had a lot of women say to me, well, I just thought that it was totally normal to have a cycle where I don't get my period for, maybe like 40 days, and then it comes like 20 days later, and then the next month it's like another 60 days. And I totally thought that was normal because nobody ever told me otherwise. So it's about getting educated about your body. If you've never heard of the term body literacy, check it out. It's amazing. It's a term coined by Laura Werschler, and the reason she coined it was because she felt that women, or Western women mostly, were not aware or not understanding of how their bodies actually worked. And so she came up with this term because she felt that we really needed to have some way to recognize that, to recognize how our bodies are actually working. And so when we're talking about self-awareness, we're talking about what's going on with your stomach after you eat food. What does it feel like? Do you go to the bathroom every day? Do you ovulate every single month? Do you notice fertile quality cervical fluid, or do you notice no cervical fluid at all? Do you have ovulation pain? Do you become like a crazy maniac a week before your period? Is your period 1 day long, or is it 8 days long? All of these signs or symptoms are signs from your body. And so this is about becoming acutely aware of what's normal for you, or at least what you think is normal, and then starting to make change from there. Targeted nutrition, lifestyle design, this idea that you can really choose how you respond to stress in your life. Because if you respond to stress in a positive way, meaning that you look at it and you see a growth opportunity, I'll get more into that in a second, or you look at it as stress being the worst thing in the world and you've just got to get rid of it. Your body responds differently physiologically to those two mindsets, as well as some targeted supplementation, like just the right supplements. I have a lot of clients who are taking like 10, 12, 14 supplements at a time. It's not necessary. And ultimately, what I really want from women is to have fun, because I think we leave fun way back in childhood, and it goes away when we become an adult, which is kind of crazy. And I just think that if we can start to bring things in slowly, you will start to see massive shifts. I can't tell you how many girls have gone through the Fix Your Period program and have just written to me and said things like, I only did this one thing, and I never in a million years thought that it would ever equate to the results I'm experiencing. One of my clients just decided to chew her food, like legitimately, because she would literally take 2 bites and swallow and never actually chew her food properly. And that was the only thing she needed to do for the first month and a half of the program. And that really, really helped her. So I think that, we really need to start to think about how we can clear up the confusion and the myths and the noise and the misinformation that's out there, so that you can start making the best decisions for you and your health and your family. Because ultimately your commitment should be to your healing. That's my commitment to you as well, but yours should be that as well. And if you care enough about your health and who you are in this world, I believe that you want to heal yourself, because that will allow you to manifest whatever you want in your life. It's going to allow you to reach the goals that you want to reach. You can't achieve anything when you're stuck on the couch for 4 days a month because your period's so bad, or you can't find your soulmate if you're afraid to go on a date because your period is so bad or your moods are so bad. There's so many different ways this manifests in your life. So I want you to start to think about that. Okay, was there another question that I'd mentioned? I think there might have been. Let's see. Yes, feeling like you've tried everything and you don't know where to turn next. Okay, this is really good because I actually had somebody say this to me. Yes, recently. Well, it was that email that I just mentioned. But I think the first thing to keep in mind here is that when you say you've tried everything, like, I'm always very curious about that, because a lot of the time women say to me, well, you know, I've been on the pill and I've tried maybe 3 different types of pills, and then I am now on this medication for my anxiety, and I'm also on this medication to control my period pain or my heavy periods, or I'm doing this so that I can get my period every month or every couple of months. So I'm like, okay, again, we come back to the symptom control, right? So we're really not looking at why your body's acting out, why it's literally throwing a tantrum and giving you all this hell, right? And so I really want women to start to think about, or you to start to think about this idea that you need to look at your body holistically, like you just do. Everything is connected. I think that conventional medicine does this thing where they sort of silo off every part of your body and how it functions. And that doesn't work, obviously. It's clearly not working. The status quo is not working. It's kind of a broken system right now. And again, modern medicine is amazing if you've broken your ankle or you've been in a car accident. Take me to the hospital. I'm down with that. But we're at the point now where it's almost like critical mass. And at least that's what I see in my work with women. And I think that what we need to do is truly understand our bodies, like to really get to the point where we're not constantly depending on someone else to fix us. I used to say this a lot to clients because it was how I used to feel. I would take my body to the doctor because that was what you do, and that's what I did. And it was almost like taking my car to the mechanic or taking my car for a tune-up or whatever, because I had no idea what the hell was going under the hood of the car or my body. And that's what I would do. And so I was really just hoping that somebody outside of me would help me figure this whole thing out. And I really because I just had no clue. I had no clue. I remember being that girl who would go to the gynecologist's office and they would ask, oh, you know, when's your next period? Or when was your last period? And I would totally lie because I hadn't a clue. I didn't believe it. Like, I can't even believe now. I use like 3 different thermometers to track my cycle. It's quite ridiculous. And I get a lot of hell for it. But anyway, the point is that I hadn't got a clue. And so I know what it's like to be there where I feel like I don't know what's going on and I feel like I've tried everything and I don't know where to go next. And so when you feel like you've tried everything, I just want you to think about what that everything is. Is it everything medically speaking? Have you tried a certain diet and it didn't work for you? Maybe you took like 12 supplements and you now have a supplement graveyard in one of your kitchen cupboards and you spent like $500 and you really got nothing out of it. So maybe it's something along those lines. But I think that it's so critical for us to remember everything that is going on in our bodies is connected. Your endocrine system, I want you to think of it as a superhighway, literally, of glands and hormones that are talking to each other 24/7. So your adrenals affect your other glands, your thyroid, your ovaries, your pancreas. And then your gut and your brain, they impact every single cell in your body. So ultimately what you have to do is recognize that all these period problems and all the conditions and all the unique issues that you have, endometriosis, amenorrhea, PCOS, PMDD or PMS, fertility troubles or adenomyosis or ovarian cysts and acne and, you know, the hair loss, and the list just goes on. And I'm like going to depress myself talking about it. These are just symptoms. of a deeper imbalance caused by mental and emotional stress, our diet, lifestyle, environmental toxins, which by the way are a massive problem right now, lack of nutrients in general. And so everything I talk about it's just that I want you to understand that it's just so much more than just your period or just this one issue that's happening. Everything is connected, and so you have got to treat everything. Not everything. You've got to treat the cause, the root cause of what's going on. And for so many women, that's their gut health. Or maybe it's their liver. They need to support how their liver is detoxing hormones. Because if your liver is not detoxing hormones in the way it's supposed to, you're going to run into problems. Or maybe it's your brain. Maybe you're so hijacked by stress in your life that your brain is like, I'm not going to tell your ovaries to ovulate this month because it's not a safe time to ovulate. Remember, we evolved for millions of years. A million years ago, if we sense danger, as in there was a tiger chasing us or something else chasing us on the plains, our bodies might not ovulate. Our body will shut down. In fact, our bodies are so smart that they decide when it's not safe to ovulate and potentially procreate that they will just not ovulate that month, or they'll delay ovulation until they sense the danger is gone. But if you're stuck on this perpetual cycle of this crazy psychological stress that we're all sort of stuck in, you might never ovulate. So that's probably what's going on in so many cases. And then your period becomes more sporadic, and then it becomes really irregular, and then maybe it disappears altogether. Or maybe you stop ovulating and you get these massively heavy periods and you're just bleeding all the time. It shows up differently for different women, but the root cause is all the same. So ultimately, you have to decide that you're going to take this more encompassing or all-encompassing approach to your health rather than just treating, like spot treating symptoms, which is what we tend to do, and instead, like, just look at it as a whole, like I said, right? So the mental and emotional stress and your food and your lifestyle and the environmental toxins that you're exposed to and the lack of nutrients that you might need to have because you might just need a supplement or two. So there's all of these different ways to fix your period problems. Well, there's not all of these different ways. There are a few really specific ways to fix all of the different period problems. And so that's really what I'm offering for women in my program. And just in general, you guys have read my blogs. You know that I can deliver the goods. It's not like I don't know what I'm talking about. I really, really do. I've worked with so many women at this point. I mean, literally in the thousands, I think. And across the board, we all think that we are completely alone in this and that we are so broken and that our issues are so unique. But ultimately, our problems, our health problems, stem from one or two specific issues. And so we just need to figure out that. And then once we figure out that, then we take the next right step, as Oprah says. I love what Oprah says. But yeah, she says that. When you're in that place, remember, get quiet with your body. Listen to what she has to say. And then you will get the right next step. And then you can take the right next step. So anyway, that's like basically the gist of what I wanted to talk about, because like I said, there's a lot of you in this group and I'm incredibly grateful that you're all here. But I really, really, really want to shift this paradigm because I want to use a bad word, but I'm not going to, tired of women saying to me, well, my doctor said that this is totally normal, or, it's okay to have cramps, or, my thyroid is totally normal, even though I can't even get out of bed every day, or, I have PCOS or endometriosis and I can't do anything about it. And, I sent out an email yesterday and I was talking about this. Conventional medicine is just not set up to cure health problems or diseases. It's set up to treat symptoms. That's it. So doctors don't have the tools to help you address your health problems from a root cause perspective. They're trained to prescribe pharmaceuticals and surgery, not food, not stress management, and not lifestyle recommendations. So trust me when I tell you that there are so many steps that you can take to seriously improve your health and the symptoms you're experiencing. If you want to treat the symptoms, you should totally go the medical route. But I can tell you everyone who comes to me has usually gone the medical route and then they come to me because it's just not working, right? But if that doesn't feel aligned for you, then I believe it's high time to start looking at your body as a whole. And I believe that shift alone is going to change your health and your life dramatically. So anyway, that is my spiel. I love you all. I am super grateful for all of you being in this group, and I want you to start to think differently because I think you deserve it. I really do. I don't believe that you need to rely on some kind of pill or some kind of procedure or whatever it is that you've potentially been relying on to start to feel better. So my goal is always to take you through on a journey through your body so that you get what is going on inside your body. I love to explain this. I love to explain how your brain talks to your ovaries or talks to your thyroid. And you really want to know this stuff because we're not taught it at all. I can't tell you as well. I feel like I talk about this so many times. I'm like, how many women come to me and say things like, but seriously, how many women come to me and say things like, how did I not know this? Why has nobody ever taught me this stuff? This should be taught to grade school children. This should be taught to women or girls in high school. Why do we not know this? Why am I 45 years old and I didn't know that you ovulate and you're only fertile for 24, maybe 48 hours every single month? Yet I took a birth control pill for 18 years to prevent something that happens once a month. That was my responsibility when a man is fertile every single day of his life. Just want you to start to think like this, right? Because I see a lot of questions in this group and you guys are all asking really good questions, and I recognize that we're all in different places and we're all on our own journey to healing and getting back to feeling amazing. But I want you to start to look deeper. And that's like I said, where the program comes up, and it's where all of these questions have come up this week. And just going through the whole process of enrolling women into the program, it's really made me recognize how lost and confused and sad so many of us are about the state of our health. And I just really, really want for you to start to think about the fact that, yes, there are only 2 months left in 2017. And I want you to think about how you're going to show up next year. The 2018 you could be operating at a whole other level if you take the course with me, or if you just decide to do something else. Whatever it is, make a decision about getting your health in order. But don't wait until this right time. I don't even know what does that even mean? There's really no right time but now, right? I feel like there's never a time but now. When I was in college and my friend suggested I see this acupuncturist, he was $80 a session. I was 23 years old. I didn't have $80 an hour to spend once or twice a week. Like, there was no way. But you know what? I damn well found that money because he showed me that he could totally change my life. And he did. I talk about him to this day. That was 15 years ago. And Dr. Kim was his name. And I can tell you right now, seeing him was the catalyst for me, for changing my entire life. And so at the time, I had no idea how I was going to afford it. I didn't know what I was going to do. There was no right time. But I knew that I was really fucking sick and tired of feeling the way I was feeling. And so right now, if it's good for you, this is an excellent time to declare that you're ready to change and start to make that happen. I feel like you're giving yourself the gift of a head start on your health for the new year rather than waiting until after the holidays when you feel like, a freight train hit you. I'm just a big fan of not waiting until we're completely fed up and we're just exhausted and desperate and annoyed. It's just not worth it. I've been there personally, and I just think that nothing good ever comes from that energetic place. It doesn't, because ultimately, when we're coming from that place of lack and just feeling, like I said before, what's the name of this Q&A? Lost, confused, and you don't know where to begin. If you're coming from that place, then what's going to happen is you're going to feel desperate. And I don't want women to feel desperate. I want women to feel like they have choices, like they are abundant, like they have abundant choice in how they're going to address their health and start to feel better. Okay, that's it. Do I have any questions? Let's see. Nicole, can I get a period with seeding? Is that seed cycling? Even if I had an ablation? If not, what can I do to help balance out my hormones without a period? That's a great question, Nicole. I think that it depends. I don't think you can get a period after you've had an ablation, if I recall correctly. So you would really want to check with your doctor on that. I would see the doctor who did the ablation on you and get and figure out whether you were able to get a period. I'm curious how long you have not had a period for and what you have been doing. Because seed cycling is a good adjunct to the foundational aspects that I've been talking about, which are the your diet, what you're eating, and how you're experiencing stress in your life. So just keep all of that in mind. Yes, okay, anything else? 9 years. Okay, so if you haven't had a period in 9 years, I'm assuming that you haven't been ovulating. Maybe you are ovulating, I'm not sure. But it's likely, my guess is that because you had the ovulation, you're ovulating still, but your uterine lining, it's scarred now, so there's no uterine lining buildup. That's what I'm imagining. I'll wait for you. And then I have to jump off because I feel like I've totally been on my high horse here, on my soapbox. Yes, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that I would track your ovulation. So that's the first thing. I would want you to see if you're actually ovulating. You could take your basal body temperature and you can, take your basal body temperature and pay attention to any kind of cervical fluid. Those are the two signs. Like I was talking about earlier, you really want to pay attention to those signs. They say I still have everything, just no periods. Right. Okay. So it's likely that you're not going to get a period if you had that ablation, but your body's still making hormones. So if you're still ovulating, but you need to know if you're ovulating. So that's your first step. I teach that in my program. If you want to really do something about this, then join the program. If you have some discharge, like it's not, that's what I was saying, like you need to actually take your basal body temperature to know for sure if you're ovulating. If you are, and if you're ovulating sporadically, then you want to address your diet, your lifestyle. I see you said that's so me, so I'm assuming that there are some things that you need to address. There's a link right in the description of the description of this Facebook Live right here, right at the top, and it's there to the enrollment page. But let's see. Yeah. Okay. So what I was going to say is that that's like your first step. So you want to figure that out. Foundationally speaking, that's where you have to get clear on how you want to support your body. And so that's what I'm really here to provide. Okay. You're so welcome. Anyone else? I will jump off of this in a second. If anyone else has any questions or comments, let me know. What else was I going to say? So everyone, just a reminder that I know I mentioned this a little while ago. We're kicking off this program in 2 days on November 1st. It's on Wednesday. I have 2 kickoff calls, one at 12 p.m. and one at 8 p.m. Eastern time, just to accommodate everyone's time zones, because I know there are a lot of different ones from all over the world. And on this on this call, I'm going to get really clear with you on how we're going to move forward over the next 8 weeks, because I really want to make this worth all of your time and effort. And I promise you that if you put in what I put in, you will have amazing results. I just had a woman write in the private Facebook group today, actually. I want to pull it up really quickly. I wonder if I can. I think I screenshotted it. 1 second. And she said, it's kind of inspiring. She said, I'm still working my way through the program while I treat SIBO. She's got some gut health issues, but big news. After 2.5 years of amenorrhea with just a pair of anovulatory cycles last winter, I got my period again yesterday. Kind of scary because it's heavier, unlike anything I've ever experienced or imagined, so it still needs some fixing, but it's hair. So this is what I'm saying. We can go sometimes 2 years or 3 years without having a period or without really seeing results. I mean, it happens, but for the most part, if you're consistent, you're going to see results really quickly. You're going to start to feel better really quickly. I want every woman to feel like it's their birthright to feel good. Okay, I think that's it. And the link for the program is right at the top in the description. And if you feel called to enroll, I would love to see you in the group. If you have questions, just send me an email. Just send an email to support@NicoleJardim.com, and I will answer your question personally, and we will take it from there. Oh, question. Sarah, are you going to suggest a million supplements that we will also need to buy? I've been taking so many supplements and don't want to be told to take any more. More. Glad you asked that. I actually covered that earlier, and I mentioned that lots of people are coming to me and they're taking like a million different supplements, and I actually don't recommend that at all. I recommend maybe 3 supplements at a time, maybe. And the reason for that is because if you're taking more than 3, it's really difficult to know what's working and what isn't working. I also feel like your liver really needs to process all of that. And if it's already trying to do the job it's doing and it's not doing a great job, then you're just going to add all these supplements to it. So no, I'm not going to suggest a million supplements that you buy. My program is much more organic than that. I'm not trying to force people to take a bunch of pills because, again, you can't out-supplement your diet, your lifestyle, or your stress. You just can't do it. So no, I mentioned a supplement graveyard. I definitely have one of those in the kitchen where I've taken recommendations from a lot of different people. So yeah, good, Sarah. I'm glad that you're on some supplements for your liver. That's perfect. We'll talk about all of that too. I mean, that's definitely part of what I discuss and explain throughout the program in terms of what I think are the best supplements to start with, and then what I think you can use for specific conditions. So hopefully that helps answer your question. All right, I'm going to take that as a yes. All right, ladies. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm grateful that you are in this group and that you're on a mission to heal your hormones and fix your periods. And I will see you soon. Talk to you later. Bye.